Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, please do consider subscribing. You have seen the title, you have seen the thumbnail. I have quite a few books to haul for you guys. If you're a regular viewer, you may see some books that I've already unboxed in my vlogs, but I know for a fact that not everybody watches my vlogs because you're here for the bookish content. Plus, doing these hauls also helps me to keep a list of the books that I have gotten, and I refer to these videos for myself too. So whether you're a regular viewer or not, I have some really cool books to show you that I have recently received or bought. Let's begin with the video. Starting with a bang, I got a book that has been in my comment section so many times. So many of you have wanted me to read this book and review it and vlog it and whatnot, and I keep thinking I will someday. That someday is here. The book is Shatter Me by Tahre Mafi. This is what it looks like, and I really hope I'm taking the name right. I have actually also started reading it already. This is the first book in the Shatter Me series, which has 9 books in it, and you may be thinking, Anchal, why didn't you just get the entire series? That is because before committing to the 9 books that I'm supposed to read in this series, I decided to buy the first book and see if I even like the vibe or not, which is why I got the first book. I'm already reading it and vlogging it. That vlog will be up very soon, and I'm really hoping that you are very excited to see this book in my hands. The cover is a little more beautiful than I thought it would be, because on screen it looked a little plasticky, but it has this matte finish. So I really like the cover, and I'm not going to review the book anymore. Next up, I bought another recommendation from one of you guys only. I recently read a horror book in one of my reading vlogs when I fell sick, and I fell in love with the genre within one book, and on that video somebody commented that this book should be my next horror book. I will really enjoy it. Also, I have not seen a lot of people talk about this book, which means there is a possibility that this is underrated, and I always welcome such books in my life. The book is The Whistling by Rebecca Netley. If you can hear it, it's already too late. This book is prettier than I expected it to be. Yet again, I thought I'll get some sort of a pirated copy, or it won't be as pretty as it is, but it is, with its matte finish and with its glowy letters. Now I'm so excited to read it. Also, I have read 2 horror books, and both of them have such big text and like space between each line. Apart from enjoying the genre itself, I just love the reading experience of such books. The next book is one of the most anticipated releases for a lot of people, including me. I have enjoyed one of her books so much. It made me cry. It made me relate to characters like I have never related to characters before. And this one now is a slightly damaged copy, but I am still so grateful to even own it. It is the ARC of this very popular anticipated book, and the book is Intermezzo by Anchal Rani. I started reading it, I was almost halfway through, and then I had to DNF it because I damaged it in water by mistake. I dropped it in water by mistake. So the back of it is actually completely damaged, and now I cannot wait to get the new published copy so I can continue reading this book, because again, I don't want to review it, but I think it is going to be one of my favorite books by this author, and it is going to make me read her other work too. For example, Beautiful World, Where Are You, or Conversations with Friends. I have those books, but I have not read them because I thought it will be a little difficult to get into. I saw very polarizing reviews. This one was going so well, I think I may pick up those books too. That's it with the review. When it comes to this book, you guys, it is the ARC, and I feel so grateful to actually have it in my hands. Even if it is damaged, I'm going to keep it with myself forever, and I love how it looks. This white, this black, this blue, everything about this ARC is delicious, and I don't know why, but it reminds me of ice cream. Next, I have a non-fiction book. I have bought a non-fiction book after so long, and this one is actually working its magic too. The reason I'm not buying a lot of non-fiction books is because I want to read the books and actually apply the lessons that I learned from the book, and not just randomly buy it and never read the book. For example, I bought this book called Second Brain, How to Build Your Second Brain, something like that, and I have not read that book. This one I'm actually reading, and I'm putting it into practice, and it is genuinely changing my life. The book is Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers by Tam Kaur. Tam Kaur is a YouTuber. She has over 1 million subscribers, and while I don't watch all of her videos, I have watched a few concerning self-love, and I think that the way she defines self-love is so beautiful, because she talks about how self-love is not just bubble baths and getting your nails done. It's actually very deep work. It takes time to develop, and then it is a process that you have to maintain. You don't just do something and then you just gain self-love and then that's it, now you can love yourself. No, it is a very hard thing to do, and I've always wanted some or the other creator to recognize how hard it can be to fall in love with yourself, especially when we are brought up in a society where loving yourself is not really common, it's not celebrated, and most of the time it is misinterpreted. Next is a book that if you watch most of my videos you know I already have, but if you don't, it is a classic. I have been wanting to read this book since I read about it in the reading list. The reading list is a fiction book in itself, and the reading list has 8 books, and all the characters in that book go through this reading list for themselves. And when I saw that list, I decided for myself that I'm gonna read all of the books on that list, because I saw the impact of all of those books on all of the characters within this fiction book. I really hope I made sense. Since then I had my eyes on this book, but either I would not get this covered or it was extremely expensive. But one day I saw on Instagram that one of my fellow bookstagrammers, Aman, is actually reselling this book, and I was like, I'll buy it, and I just got it for like 200 rupees or 180 rupees. The book is Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. I, for some reason, keep calling it How to Kill a Mockingbird. I have no idea why. It looks like a short and sweet book, but it is a classic, and I really want to read more classics, especially in the new year. I'm going to make it sort of like a resolution for myself, a reading resolution, a reading goal, that I want to start reading more classics now, and this is, I think, going to be a good start. Plus, this is actually also on my winter TBR because it just gives me winter vibes. A lot of classics actually give me winter vibes. Just cozy up in your blanket, get yourself a drink, or go in the park while the sun is out but it's still chilly outside, environment like that, and then you read a classic. Next up, I bought this book from a bookstore because it had been so long since I bought a book from the bookstore, and I have had this book on my radar since almost a year now. I saw the big paperback version of it in Crosswood itself, but at that time I was like, maybe it's not meant for me. But recently, I have no idea whose video I watched, I do not remember at all. If I do, I will put the link in the description. Somebody talked about this book, and it got me to thinking that this book can be like Normal People or Alone with You in the Ether, and I'm really hoping that it's like Alone with You in the Ether, because I'm craving that sort of a love story. Even if it is like Normal People, it's fine. It's just this complicated story of two people who feel like they're not fit for love, and then them fitting together. I'm so excited to read a love story like that, so I bought this book. The book is Talking at Night by Claire Daverly. This bowl of milk and cornflakes actually has context to it. I have read a few pages of this book and then I dropped it because I'm going through this weird phase where I keep picking up books and I keep dropping them. So I did read a few pages, and this has a context, and now I cannot wait to explore what other things link into this cover. I say that I can't wait, and still I won't actually pick this book up. The next 2 books were gifted to me by a friend. One of them was a gift to me, one of them was a gift to my brother, but I am anyhow going to read it, so that's why I decided to haul it in the video. First one is Ali Smith's Like. Do I know anything about this book? Not at all, but I read the back of the book. I still don't know what the book is about, but it seemed so interesting. It feels like an abstract book about love, the paradoxical nature of human beings and of love. So I'm very excited to explore what this book is like. Also, I have heard so much about Ali Smith, and I think Autumn by Ali Smith is very, very popular, but I've not read anything by this author, so I'm excited to read this book and explore what it's like. I don't know when I'll read it, actually in far future. The book that he actually gave for me based on my liking is I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith. This is what it looks like. I am absolutely in love with the cover, and again, I read a few pages as soon as I got it in my hands, and it is written from the perspective of a teenager. It is a journal of a teenager and her experiences along with her family's experiences as their life goes on, and they face multiple challenges. When I read those first few pages, I was like, oh my god, I am so going to enjoy this so much, but I really need to be in a particular space to read the book. Otherwise, if I rush through this book, I don't think I will enjoy it. I got the next book because I have been wanting to read more books by Indian authors, and this author is one of the most popular authors. I have now been introduced to so many authors who write things apart from romance, and I want to explore their work. For example, I read The Book of Everlasting Things. That is a historical romance book, but it was also so much more than a romance, and it was such a beautiful experience for me. Now I'm excited to read this one. The book is Sea of Poppies by Amitav Ghosh. You guys have also recommended me this author a lot, and I see this author so much on Instagram, so I am very excited to read his work and see what it is like. The next book is yet again a book that you may have seen if you watch my vlogs. I've just been wanting to read so many of these books in so long. That's why I bought them. The major reason I bought this one was because I saw a reel that was explaining what this book is about, and even after watching the reel, I did not really understand what it is about, but it seemed very interesting. What I think is that even if it did not make sense to me when I was listening to the reel, I know that whatever was said in the reel will make sense to me once I have read the book. So now I want to read the book and see if I will actually enjoy it. This is the Booker Prize winner of 2022. I've actually been wanting to read it since then because it's been so popular. The book is The Seven Moons of Mali, Shihan Karuna Tilaka. I really hope I'm taking the name right. I am so in love with this cover. It is so vibrant and so beautiful. I could actually try to read the back of the book, but I will not understand anything. Plus, I want to go into the book blind and see what it's like. You guys know that I am one of the biggest fans of Olivia Blake. I have all of her books except the series that she has written, and I decided that it is now time for me to dip my toes into the world of her series too, which is why I got the next book. I did not get it. My brother actually got it, but I made him get it. You may have already guessed the book. The book is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Once again, I would actually buy the entire series, but I want to make sure that I actually like this book. Plus, I think I have seen one or two people say that you don't necessarily have to read the second and the third book. You can also read the first book as a standalone. So I don't know what I'm going to do. It is said to be of the dark academia genre, and I think this is one of the first books that went viral for Olivia Blake, and after that all of her other work also became very, very popular. I am so very excited about the next two books. It was sent to me very, very kindly by the Bombay Circle Press. They have a wide catalog of books, and I went through it, and these two seemed the most interesting to me. First up, we have a love story which is Eternally Single Rosa Alvarez by Neerja Pawar. I have been looking forward to read this book since the cover reveal of this book. I have it saved in my reel section, and I couldn't wait for it to be published so I could read it. It's a short and sweet novella, and I think it's about a woman who is playing two roles, like she's being different people to different people, like to her family and then to the world. I'm not sure about it, but it is such a short book. When I get short books, I don't like to read the blurb of it because I feel like then I am spoiling the first half of the book, that is the build up to the whole story. The most interesting one is this second one. Oh my god, I am so excited about this. It's called Parallel by Hope Bollinger. This is the story of two people who have set up a date, and they both reach the place for their date, but they don't see each other. Why? Because they are in parallel universes. Love that transcends parallel universes and time is my favorite kind of love to read. I am so excited for this one. I am going for a trip very, very soon, and I think I'm going to take this book with me, and it's going to be such an amazing experience. The next book is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman, who is the author of the Thursday Murder Club series, which I am so eager to buy because, especially Rutvik, if you're watching the video, you know this. He has read that series so many times, and since I have been seeing it, I really want to read it for myself too, but I was waiting for that series to be over, and now that it's over, I can't wait to buy it and read the entire series. But before I get to that, I got sent this copy from Penguin as soon as it was released, and this is a brand new series. It is the first book, and it is a cozy mystery. Yet again, I read around 100 pages of this book, dropped it because I have just been in that phase, but whatever I have read, it sounded like something right up my alley. It sort of gave me How to Age Disgracefully by Claire Pooley vibes, and you guys know I love that vibe. Next is a series that was sent to me very, very kindly by Neeta. Story behind it is that I put a story on my Instagram if anybody is willing to gift me these books so that I can make a video on them, because I was pretty sure that I was not going to enjoy these books and I did not want to spend money on it. And then Neeta very kindly told me that she has copies that she wants to let go of. She doesn't need them, and so she can send it to me and gift it to me, and I was so happy. A video is coming soon on the series. I just have to, word it properly in my mind. The series is the Haunting and Hunting cat and mouse duet, the duology. This is what it looks like, and guys, I'm not gonna talk much about this. I told you why I got it, and that's it. What the story is like, what my experience was like when I read it, you will see in the video. There was this one haul I did, I think this year or last year, I don't remember, in which I said that no matter what happens, I will not read these books because I saw the content of these books somewhere and it was just not my vibe. I had already decided that, but the number of times I have gotten a comment that I should read this book, you want my review on this book, you want my views on this book, I decided that even if I do not enjoy the books, doesn't mean I can't talk about them and talk about how I did not like them. So I decided to get the books and read them, and I actually want to go back to my promise and be like, I don't want to read these books. Next up, I actually decided to do a video which is cancelled for now. So okay, I'll just tell you about it. I wanted to do a video when I'm reading books in the thought daughter aesthetic, which is the elder daughter overthinking daughter aesthetic, and I am the thought daughter. So I got this book for that. It's called I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hackman. It's supposed to be this sci-fi book, and apart from that I don't know much. I just knew that it is in that collection, in the thought daughter aesthetic. If you have read this book, let me know in the comments what you think about it. That video is cancelled for now because I have to make other videos and I don't know when I will make that video, and only then I will be reading this book. But before then, if you have any views on this, let me know and motivate me to read it. Next up, I received a book from Simon & Schuster. The book is The Night Travelers by Armando Lucas Correa, who is the best-selling author of The German Girl. This book is set across year 1931, 1958 and 1988, and it is a historical fiction book. I think it is a story of two women struggling through all of this time and trying to survive, and you guys know, right up my alley. I am also absolutely in love with this cover. It is so beautiful. Next up, as you saw, I'm trying to read more classics, and this author is one of the most popular authors when it comes to classics, so I got this one. The book is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I got this really pretty edition of it. It looks so beautiful. It's such a thin book, and when I'm dipping my toes into classics, I am thinking of just starting slow and small and cute. I know for a fact that this book is not going to be cute at all, and it's not going to be something very easy to read, even if it is a short book, but at the end of the day, it is a short and sweet book, so that's why I picked this one up. I am also so fascinated by this author. I have read a few quotes written by this author, and it is so beautiful, especially from this book too, so I'm very excited to read the entire book itself. Next up, I already have the prequel of this book, and the reason I did not read the prequel, even if I got it like last year, I think, was because I did not have the first book in the series, and I could read the prequel if I wanted to without reading this book, but it's just not fun. You know, this book was published first, and then the second book was meant to be read as a prequel, so if I don't read this book first, it's just not fun to read the second book. This is also one of the most popular fantasy books ever. I remember the hype when it came out, and even now actual fantasy lovers really love this book, and I don't consider myself to be an actual fantasy lover because I feel like I've read very mid basic fantasy books, so now I want to go deeper into the fantasy world, and this I think is the right bridge between me being a beginner and then entering the world of deep large fantasy worlds. The book is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Sashin, or Shannon, not Sashin. I think this book has dragons. Once I asked you guys if you know any books that have dragons in it, and so many of you recommended this book, so I have this one. I also have its prequel. Now I don't know when I'll get to it, but let me know if you want a reading vlog of me reading this book and the second book together. In the end, one of you guys sent me two books. One was I Know Who You Are, but I've already talked about that book so much and I did not want to repeat it over here. But then you also sent me this second book, which is The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. This was in my wish list and I'm so grateful to have it in my hands. I was looking for thrillers, some of the best thrillers ever, and Peter Swanson kept popping up every single where, especially this book by this author. So many of you have told me, oh my god Anchal, drop everything else, just pick this book up first. I will, very soon. And with that, we come towards the end of the video. That I really hope you enjoyed this haul. If you liked this haul, then maybe you will like this haul, and if you like hauls so much, you will like this playlist, which is filled with unboxings and hauls. Enjoy these videos. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.